Okay, let's get started with today's session. Yesterday we have seen cloud formation, right? Writing an infrastructure code and building the infrastructure directly. So we have created VPC, subnets. So a hell lot of configurations we have created in a JSON file, executed that JSON file, which in turn created the complete lab for us. So you understood what is infrastructure as a code and how we need to work with cloud formation. So in today's session, we will see Route 53. So what is this Route 53? It is a AWS domain name service, DNS service. So before that, let's write what is today's agenda in our lab notes. Mm, okay. So we are going to see Route 53. So DNS, right? DNS is nothing but domain name service. So for example, we have seen how to spin up EC2 servers. After spinning up, we have seen to launch the server with the EC2 IP address and index HTML, or in Elastic Load Balancers also. We have seen how to use the endpoints, right? Or a simple S3 bucket endpoints and all. So you cannot give that complete endpoint. Like, so for example, the endpoint will be like AWS east hyphen 2 network load balancer dot aws, like this a big URL will come. So you cannot give this URL to the customer, right? So you need to wind up that URL and you need to give like this. So for example, www.example.com. So how exactly are you mapping your current servers, either EC2 servers or network load balancers or S3 hosted buckets? How exactly you are going to map this into a proper naming, which you can share with your customers and other people, right? For the stakeholders. So we will see. So for this, Route 53 is a service in AWS. So to check this lab, what we'll do is first we'll deploy one web application. I will take WordPress application. Okay, this WordPress, if you're not aware about WordPress application, it's a blog based web application which is dynamic one. So we will see how to create WordPress also. Please pay some attention in this session. You will learn how to create an application from the scratch within 10 minutes. So in order to develop web application, we need many other technologies, setups, and every other things, right? But here in this today's session, WordPress is a content management system website. So let's see how to deploy that service within 10 minutes. Okay, in our EC2 mission, this is also using free ones. So let's write our agenda step by step, and let's try to complete that lab. Okay. So what we will first step is deploy WordPress based web application in EC2 server. Then create a sample post or page in WordPress. And third one, record the server public IP address or host name. So this is first step. So first set of lab, and the second set, what we'll do is you should buy a domain, any domain it might be. So example.com, I'll write example.com here. Buy a domain from any DNS service providers. So we have GoDaddy, which is very famous, right? Everyone know about GoDaddy. So they sell the domain names. So for this lab, I already have a couple of my domains, which I already purchased. We'll do with that. So after purchasing the domain, what you need to do? So you need to create a Route 53 zone. Create a Route 53 zone using the domain name service. Domain name you purchased. Okay. So once you create Route 53 zone, Route 53 hosted zone, I'll tell. The next step is replace the DNS servers in GoDaddy, DNS naming servers, DNS name servers in GoDaddy and save them. After updating the name service, check. So we need to wait for some time to reflect this change. Sometimes the change will happen within a couple of minutes. Sometimes it will take some time. So let's wait. For minimum, we'll give 10 minutes. During this 10 minutes, let's try to create this poster page without wasting our time. Okay. Let's wait for 10 minutes and check if you can reflect the changes with DNS name instead of IP address. Okay, this is first set of lab. Okay, so in this lab, what we are going to do is, so we know we have spinned up Ninjix server many times, and how we have accessed this Ninjix server. So we have seen one EC2 either mission name or using IP address we were using, and launching this Ninjix server homepage, right? So today, instead of Ninjix server, we'll create a complete web application, which is WordPress based web application. It is a blog based content management system. Okay, so we will use one of the marketplace images and we will create this one. So after creating this WordPress application, we will have the endpoint, right? This endpoint, we will map it with a sample. I have my own one which I purchased, educationrankers.com. So let's map to that one and we'll check it. I already purchased that one from GoDaddy. So let's see how to map it one. So it is same. So the vendor might be GoDaddy or BigRock or Google or anyone. Doesn't matter. I will show you how to update these namespace systems when you are working with another service provider, DNS provider. And we will see whether this is working or not. After this one set of lab, second set of lab, this is initially it will be HTTP, right? So second set of lab would be related to SLS certificate. So this is, let me say, I'll continue with the same. Eighth one is create a SSL certificate from AWS certificate manager. Okay, so after creating the certificate, we need to map the certificate to your purchased domain. Sometimes later I'll add one more point here. Validate whether your application is loading AWS certificate or not. Okay, so this is the second set of the lab which you are going to do. Okay, any queries before we do this one?
Not really, Harish. Thank you.
Okay, are you clear with the agenda, right? Yeah.
Harish, in terms of this, do you need to have the what's it called, scripting background on this?
No,
you don't.
No scripting background. WordPress allows us to create directly from user interface. That's why I am keeping this point. So many of us are not from development background, right? That's why I selected WordPress to be hosted. Otherwise, I could have taken some Java war based application. So in WordPress, we will have a user interface to create pages and posts dynamically.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Okay, so if we are clear with agenda, now let's do point by point. So first point is deploy WordPress based web application in EC2 server. So let's go to our console, click on EC2. So launch instance. Okay, so now click on AWS Marketplace. Under Marketplace, go and search for different images will be there in marketplace, right? Now you will let us search for WordPress. So you will get WordPress by Bitnami. So Bitnami is one of the organizations. So they create default images for WordPress and they provide that with us. So I will select Bitnami and automatic. Let's select this one. So if you see here, for the softwares, so we no need to install any softwares. Automatically, when you are selecting this image, right, this image will load everything for free. So you will be not charged for anything for softwares. So for example, if you see here, software for any of this one is 0. Only what you need to pay here is whatever the instance you pick up, for that instance, whatever the AWS cost will be there, that will be paid. Okay. So this is a free image. So let's go and continue here. Now select your EC2 mission here. Let's select T2 micro, which is our free mission. Configure instance details. I'll select as August 1st. Subnet, I launch in first subnet. I'll enable public IP address. And I don't want any other details. I'll go to storage, go to tanks. So I have education rankers.com. So this is the domain which I purchased. So I'll copy this domain and I will just give the same domain name as the mission name. So if you see here, let's not go with our default security group which we created. So for that, what we'll do is, if you select this security group, I'll create a new security group which will allow SSH. Suppose if you want to log into your EC2 mission and check what is happening on HTTP port and HTTPS port. Only even HTTP is not required once we configure our certificate. Later you can come and disable this HTTP. Only HTTPS and SSH port you can enable for this one. So initially allow all these three and create a new security group instead of selecting our August 1st security group. Okay. So I don't want all the, because now you are launching, you are creating a web portal. You are not doing any demo lab, right? You are doing a real-time application here. When you are doing such real-time applications, you must be very mindful what traffic you need to allow into the EC2 servers and what traffic you need to not to allow. In our August 1st security group, by default, all traffic we have allowed, right? So never do that. So in the real-time applications, no one will do that because a lot of hits will be there for your applications. So let's create a security group, new security group with this SSH, HTTP and HTTPS, and review on launch. Click on launch. I'm selecting August 1st key pair and launching the instance. So this will take some around 2 to 3 minutes because it need to install WordPress, it need to install PHP server, then it need to install the required softwares and automatically make the demo application upright. So meanwhile, let us go to Route53 and check what is Route53. Okay. Route53 will be under networking and content delivery services. So if you see here, this is Route53. Click on this one. Shit. Okay. I will open EC2 in another tab. Okay, so under Route53, so you have different options. So don't worry about many options now. Right now you check what is hosted zones. Okay, so hosted zones are the zones which allows you to share your hosted applications. So for example, we need to develop a application which is for educationrankers.com. Okay, so that application we will create a zone now here. Click on hosted zones. So as of now, nothing is here. So what this host zone will do is it will redirect the internet traffic routed with the domain. Say for example, you will come here in the browser. So you will search like this, educationrankers.com. Okay. So when you search like this, your internet should detect that this education rankers belongs to Harish. He has purchased this domain. Once the domain is purchased, in the domain, you will have a naming servers. Okay. I'll quickly overview. See this big concept. I'll just give a simple overview so that you'll understand this concept much better. So we have educationrankers.com. Okay, this is the domain. Okay, once the user hit this domain, what this will happen is it will go and hit the DNS server. Okay, the DNS server will be there. So in the DNS server, I have purchased from GoDaddy, right? In GoDaddy, they will allow you to create some namespaces. Okay, so under these namespaces, you need to provide where your application is hosted. Say our application is hosted in AWS EC2 mission, right? We are created EC2 mission, and this is our web application. So you need to tell this education rankers should map to this EC2 mission. So in order to do that, there is a DNS service providers. Anyone, even www.google.com also should go to the DNS server, and in the DNS, whatever the namespaces they are referring, based on that namespaces, it will go and refer to either to Google or whatever the web application it is there. So this is what we are going to do now in a nutshell. Okay, so go to your hosted zones. So what exactly it will do is, so it will redirect all the traffic. Say for example, so if anyone is searching with this domain name, right? So automatically it will be picked up. The namespaces will come. Whatever the hits is coming for this domain server, it will be hit all. It will be made and it will be sent to our web-based application, so that this user will be provided for everyone. Okay. So just a second, guys. Sorry for that. Mm. Yeah. So whatever the traffic which is coming from this particular domain name service, right? So this traffic will be redirected to the web application where we have hosted. That is what this is the architecture what we are going to do right now. Okay. See, Route 53, I can simply explain that it is a hosted service where you can create your naming servers. Then it will be mapped. So I can explain that, but you will not understand in a conceptual manner. That's the reason we are creating this detailed lab, so that you will have a better idea. Okay, so let's see what is happening for this instance. So let's rename this to, okay, this is our application, sorry, the EC2 server which we have created. So now copy this DNS and let me launch it here. So it will automatically install the WordPress application. You know, this is the demo application for WordPress. Means a website is already created for you. Suppose if you want to change anything in the website, right, the home page, or if you want to add a new post here, recent post is hello world post is there. So if you want to add one more new post, so we can do that. We need to log in as admin for that. So before doing this one, we will do that after some time. So let us understand how to create this hosted zone. Okay. So are you clear why this hosted zone is used? So this hosted zone will redirect the internet traffic from particular domain to a particular EC2 instance or S3 bucket or a network load. It might be any service. So whatever the service you have endpoints, right? Even you can redirect this to a S3 bucket also. So we have seen in S3 bucket how to host a sample website and make it this one, right? So at that time we have seen the endpoint which was displayed. So with that endpoint also we can map this particular educationrankers.com what we are trying to create. Okay. Okay, let's create a hosted zone here. So give your domain name. Our domain name is educationrankers.com. Education. Okay. So this is a public hosted one, and let me give the name. So as soon as you created hosted zone, by default you will get two types. Two types will be created. I mean, two record types will be created. One record type is nothing but your name servers. Okay. One record type is your name servers. The another record type is SOA. So we need to don't worry about what is this SOA and all. It is in-depth concepts in DNS. So when it is coming to NS, right, name servers. So you have here the list of name servers which are created for this educationrankers.com. Now go to the GoDaddy. GoDaddy. So it might be, see, I purchased my naming servers in GoDaddy. So that's why I'm going and logging in here. Suppose if you have purchased in, say, for example, BigRock, right? So BigRock is also one of the service provider. So if you have purchased here, go and log into BigRock and you can verify this one. Okay. Okay. Now go to your GoDaddy. So if I see,
I didn't understand that, Harish. You are showing a GoDaddy and a BigRock, and what exactly, both are domain sellers only, right? Like, one is the or
yeah.
one is the domain seller and another one is the host. I'm confused there. By the way, could you please let me know once again?
Yeah. So GoDaddy or BigRock or AWS also you can buy your domain names, or you can buy in HostGator, like this. These are domain sellers. Okay. So right now I have purchased in GoDaddy. I also have one more domain in BigRock. Those are just service, domain name sellers. They are not different to each other. Okay. So let me go to my products. Okay, so I have many products here. So I will take this education rankers for this one. Let me check. Yeah. So this is the domains. So 2 domains I have in GoDaddy. So education rankers is there. So I will go and click on setup. I will click on DNS. Okay, now once you load, so this is my portal, right? So educationrankers.com. So if you see here, there are some name servers. So let me remove this one first. Okay, by default, initially it will be like this. Okay, you will have only 2 name servers. So later you need to come and add this one. So in our Route 53, we have created hosted zones, right? So we have 4 name servers here. So copy all the 4 name servers and update here. So this is very simple, but you just need to pay attention step by step. Even if you miss one single step, then while creating this one, you will face issues. Create name server. Okay, so simple. First here we created a record to the hosted zone. When you create any host zone, by default two records will be created. One is name server records and one is SYA records. Name server records are the ones which you need to copy and go and paste in our DNS seller. My DNS seller is GoDaddy. So I have logged into GoDaddy, and since I had many domains in my account, I have selected education rankers. So after selecting that one, so since I'm not hosting anything in GoDaddy, because we are running a web-based application in Amazon EC2, right? So that's why I will use my own name servers, select this option. Then initially there will be only two options. Later you can click on add name server and copy paste all the name server values to route your traffic. So comma will be there at the end. So don't give comma. So just remove the comma and you can copy paste all the name servers. Save this one. Say yes and continue. Okay, so now I have saved everything. Now the naming servers are saved. So now go back to your Route 53. So if you see here, just give a refresh here. So just wait for at least a couple of minutes. Now, till now, what we were doing, so we were using the IP address, and with the IP address, we were using our application, right? Either to create post or to launch this one. Now you can directly give our domain name, so educationrankers.com. So it's not up now. So let's wait for 5 more minutes. To reflect this, at least minimum 30 minutes is required. So let's wait for 5 more minutes. Meanwhile, let us create a sample post here. We'll remove this allowable post and we'll create a sample post here. Okay. So So you need to log in as admin. So for admin, you need to give VP admin, VP admin. Yeah. So this is your admin login page. So click on user, and I'll show you one thing which you have not seen in EC2 till now. So go to your education anchor EC2 mission, click on instance settings, and if you see get system log. So you can see what is the log for this EC2 mission. Okay. So the admin password, by default admin password, when you're logging it for the first time, right? So it will be generated here. Public key is created. Yeah. So if you see here, this is the Bitnami has created the application password as this one, and your default username is user. Okay. Incorrect. Shit. Let me copy this. Yeah. So copy this password and try to log in with WordPress. Okay. Yeah. So you are logged in into dashboard. So let us go to close this one. Go to your pages, existing pages, all pages. So trash this one. Sample edit. So this is my portal, right? Default portal. Now let me change these headings just to see. Sample page. Or meanwhile, we'll also create one post, new post. Yeah. Okay, I will add a post. Let's say new batch for GitOps training. Okay, so here you can write anything. It's like general blogging, you know, right? So it's same thing. So I'll add a paragraph. So there is a new batch starting for GitOps in September 2020. And let's add one image for this one. Upload, you can upload image from your local. Go to, I'll say VPCP. Okay, GitOps here. So I have one image. So then later you can type, even you can upload video also. So for example, YouTube video also, you can give a link here and embed the link here. Let us give one YouTube video link. So let me select any one video. So this is how you can embed video, and you can do images or any other things as well. Like these are the options. So there are many things. So you can browse here. Image, gallery image. If you want to move one by one image, carousel images, spacers. Like so, this is very easy way to develop your website if it is not that complex. Okay, so let's publish this one, publish the page, and meantime, so yeah, our new post will be like this. If you see here, these are website. In website we have created with today's date, we have created a new post. So the post is new batch for GitOps training, and these are the details, image, and you can play your YouTube video as well. Okay, so this is how you can create a post in WordPress. And let's go. Yep. So if you see here, we have just modified this one. So are you clear with what is WordPress, right? So see, we have taken just launching EC2 mission only, but while launching the EC2 mission, we have selected from marketplace a image of already WordPress available, which is developed by Bitnami, and they will give you a blank template based WordPress application. Later you can create your own application by modifying this one. So if you come click here, edit page, so I will have an option to select all those page and change the sites. Okay, meantime, let's check whether this has been reflected or not. Okay, so sorry, I need to, we also need to add a record. So for that, what we will do is click on after, see these two things. When you create the host zones, namespace and SOI will be default created, and a record you need to manually add it here. So come click on record, click on simple routing, and click see there are different options of routing. Okay, simple routing means so directly route your traffic. Weighted means so when there are a lot of traffic is coming, then you can split your traffic to multiple things. Or geolocation, so when you are searching only from India, the Indian users should go for the one domain, otherwise another domain, like that. Latency, say for example, if any application is loading URLs or loading very late, then you can provide this option. Like this, you have many options. So I will select simple routing, click on next, and here you need to define a record. Leave this as blank. Suppose if you are we are pointing only to this one, right? So leave this as blank. Suppose if you want to do like docs.educationrankers.com, then you need to do these other things. So for now I'm leaving it as blank. And route traffic is select the endpoint. So here you have different options. So for example, if you want to route the traffic from S3 bucket to URL, this is the one. For network load balancer, if you want to do, this is the one. For application classic load balancer, this is one. Elastic, like this you have for API gateway, this is the one. So right now we are running our instance in EC2 server, right? So we need to give this EC2 IP address. So select IP address and give your IP address here. Okay. Then what is the record type? Record type you select as A, which routes traffic to an IPv4 addresses. Okay. Suppose if you want to route your traffics to IPv6 address, then you need to select AA. Okay, CNAME means suppose if there is any certificate. Later, currently what we are doing is we are doing without SSL certificate. Later, if you want to do with SSL, say for example, Amazon has a certificate here. This is SSL valid certificate, right? Right now we are not creating any certificate. We are just mapping education rankers with this one. So for that, you need to select a route and create simple record. Once the record is created, yeah, create record.
Harish, sorry. In between, actually, when you were giving that IP address, it is the IP address of that EC2 machine, right?
Correct.
So is that IP the dynamic IP or is it a static IP?
This IP is the one
which should be static, right?
Yeah, so you can create elastic IP address and you can create. See, when you create EC2 server, so this IP address is created. So now either once you until you shut down this EC2 server or terminate this instance, shutdown means still you will have your IP address. Once you terminate this IP
with
address,
the terminate it will go. Okay.
It will go. So if you want to be static one, go to your elastic IPs under VPC, create a static one and remove this one and assign that elastic IP here. Okay.
So, but if it works until termination, if it remain with that machine, I think it is as good as a static, right?
Yeah. See, once this IP
Okay.
address is allocated to you, then this IP address will be not allocated to anyone in the world. It is only to you until you reserve this EC2 mission with you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now we have A record and NS records which are already updated. Let's wait for a couple of minutes. It usually take around 5 to 10 minutes. So meanwhile, any queries till now? Let's see our lab what we have done.
You know, when you get this password, you went to the system log and got the password, right?
Yep.
Is there any other ways to do it, or is that's the only way to do it?
Otherwise, you need to log into system, go and check the system logs, and you need to do that. I don't want to do the putty and waste time. That's why
Okay.
dynamically you can get the logs here, system logs.
Okay. Yeah.
So here
That's
there are a
fine.
lot of logs generated. Usually this much logs will be not generated. Only up to the EC2 server it will generate. Later we are installing the other softwares, right? Like PHP software. So this WordPress will be running on PHP, and it will also have a web server which will be running like a Apache server. Like that, a couple of softwares are required, and that is automatically run by Bitnami. Okay, if you see here. It will also show you what are the Ethernet cables, Ethernet network interfaces which we selected. This is the internal IP address. So this is the EC2 log which we are seeing right now. Your Bitnami log will start here. Yeah. From here, your Bitnami log is starting. Okay.
Harish, you know how you went and updated the title and some of the content on that particular
WordPress.
So of course the public IP is the same which we see in the EC2 instance, but the other, like, WP-admin, is it what we need to put for us to be able to log in as an admin?
Yeah, so you just need to give like this WP-admin.
Okay.
I'll just put this in the lab notes.
Yeah, and then you get the password and user from the log, as you just explained, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool, thank you.
So Harish, is the log only a medium to get the password, or is there any other way to get that password as well?
That's the same question what Guru has asked. So
Oh,
either
sorry. Yeah,
either you
maybe
need to log into EC2 mission to get that log, otherwise you can dynamically get it here. So instead of using putty and logging to the EC2 mission, you can directly go and get it from that.
Okay.
Okay, let's try to edit. Meanwhile, let's try to edit some titles for this home page and check. Okay. I'll just give the title. Okay, little better. So if you can spend some time, you can decorate this one little more in a good way. You can change these images and all. Okay.
But just a kind of a informative sites, right? Like Harish, like, do you suggest this way, by the way?
What see, it all depends on what requirement you have. Suppose see, if you're only doing blogging, this is the best site. And if if your site is completely static, so we have seen the static web pages, right? You can download HTML templates. You can deploy these templates through S3 bucket. So for example, this is one of the template. So either you can host this one as well. So like this, it completely depends on the requirement, what requirement you have. Suppose if you are deploying this template, then if you want to create a new page or new post, every time you need to come and manually create your HTML code and you need to do. But suppose if you're going with WordPress, right? So it's as simple as you can see, right? How easy it is to create a page. So come under pages, create new post or page or medium. What do you want to create? If you want to create a new post, you can create a new post and release. So for example, we already seen, right, how to create a new post. So let's go back and create a new page here. Sorry, pages, add new. I will say this is course page, and I'll tell heading as H4 list of courses, and yeah, AWS Cloud, Azure Cloud, GitOps, automation testing, Azure, so Azure is known, and DevOps. So just you can publish it. So it hardly took for us to create 1 or 2 minutes. Still, I agree you can still decorate this page with more content or colorful themes and other things. So how much time for you it took to complete and to create this page? Hardly 1 minute or 2 minutes, right? So if you want to do the same thing in HTML code, even if you copy paste, then it will take some time, right? And also this is completely mobile responsive. So say for example, if you load to mobile screens, right, automatically the screen will be compressed and it will be shown as mobile responsive. So that's, see, it all depends on what requirement you have, Chandan.
Fine, Harish. Yeah. It makes sense right now. Yeah, thanks.
Come on. So what? Sometimes it takes only 4 to 5 minutes to reflect. Sometimes it takes more time. Okay, let's leave that like that, and let us come and check what are next steps to do. Deploy WordPress based application. So this we have completed. Domain example DNS service GoDaddy is completed. Route 53 zone, this is completed. Create DNS name servers in GoDaddy and save them. This is completed. Wait 10 minutes. Let's wait for that one. Okay, next step is, so once we load this application, right? So for example, if you launch with educationrankers.com, so it will take around 10 minutes of time to, sorry, this is in HTTP. If you want to make this a secured one, so you need to purchase certificate. Now either, again it's same, if you want to purchase certificates, you can go to some service providers who are selling certificates, or AWS is also provide you certificate. I have purchased here my products. So I have my SSL certificate here, right? So I have mapped my SSL to one of my other portal. So like that, let us create one new certificate in AWS. Certificate will be under security identity complex area. So it is called certificate manager. Click on the certificate manager. So by default, you will not have any certificates when you are logging in the first time. Private certificates are nothing but internal to your organization. And if you want to go for public, you need to select provision certificates and request a public certificate, right? So click on request certificate. Now here we need to give for which portal are you going to create the certificate. So usually, if you want to map your external traffic, right, you need to select naming servers. So select on DNS. So we already have done that naming servers. Now if you want to map the security for this particular DNS, right? So the naming servers is done. So if you want to map the security, now you need to select CNAME here. So NS configuration is already done. CNAME we need to do. This CNAME, wherever you are doing your hosted zones, right? Wherever you're doing your hosted zones, there you need to update the CNAME. Once you update the CNAME, then the certificate will be reflected here. Okay. So our hosted zone is in AWS, right? AWS Route 53. So after creating this certificate, we'll go to that and we need to add it there. www.education rank okay, rankers.com. So you can add multiple domains. So for example, you want to add one more domain. So for example, I have one more rankers education I have. So if I want to map this one, then I can add the same under the same certificate. So right now I'll remove this one. So you can validate, see, we are creating a certificate. If you want to map this certificate to any domain, first of all, AWS need to verify whether you are the domain owner or not. So in order to do that, there are two validation methods. One is DNS validation, the other one is email validation. Email validation means, say for example, you need to have any email which is related to the domain. So for example, admin at educationrankers.com or info@educationrankers.com. Right now I have not set up email, so I will select domain validation. So name. So your certificate will be automatically created. Now you need to add the CNAME record in your DNS configuration, right? So our DNS is in route 53. So right now you have A, NS and SOA. You also need to add CNAME here in order to reflect HTTPS. So before that, let's wait for this one to reflect. 97. Yeah, everything is correct. Let's leave some more time to get it attached. Okay, so once you create your certificate, then you can directly map it from here. So right click here. By default, it will be pending validation. So once you add the CNAME record under route 53, one new record will come here. Like this, you can click on record, click on simple routing, click on next, and create a simple record. So you can give the CNAME name here. So if you go here, if you down, this is the CNAME name. So copy this one and value is this one. So you need to provide the CNAME name and value in route 53. So here you need to choose as IP address not. Yeah, this IP address one. Provide your IP address there. Here you need to select the CNAME route traffic, this option, and you need to click on simple record. So let's wait first for this to reflect so that I can show you this one. So click on cancel, or the other way is, as soon as you create here, you will have an option, click on this drop down. If you click on this button, it will automatically add it to your route 53. Okay, two things. So this is how you'll add a certificate to certificate manager. Well, okay, so the lab is completed. The only thing is we need to check whether this is correctly mapped or not. So usually the other domains, GoDaddy will do in 1 or 2 hours. AWS will do within 30 minutes. And the other service providers like BigRock and all will take 24 hours to reflect this one. So what we can do is we can click on lookup ican.org. And let us give this one, education rankers. So this should show our naming servers. So if you see here, the naming servers are reflected here. So means which will redirect all the traffic to this particular portal. So definitely it is success whatever we have done, but you need to give some time in order to reflect this complete setup. So any queries here in the lab?
Harish, have you used this before? Because I could see the registration date was from early this year.
No. So this, what this I can look up will give you is it will give the information about this DNS, who is the owner, when it is registered and all. So
Yeah.
if you see here,
So if you see here, right, this one.
yeah. So I have purchased this domain on this particular date.
All okay, that's why
And the
I thought. Okay.
domain will expire on 2023 and this one. So for 3 years I have registered this domain.
You earlier itself you bought this domain.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and who is the organization? This is the organization who purchased this domain, and administrative organizations, so billing. And
so Harish, this is a publicly available information.
see, you can close this one. I have not paid any additional amount to close this information.
Okay.
So if you want to hide this, the owner, who is the owner, so you can go here and host names, manage templates.
So this is similar to who is lookup. No, the who is lookup.
Yeah.
There's a who is lookup. You can search for who's the domain owner.
Same like who is lookup. Yeah, same.
Lookup.
Same. Yeah. So you can see all these naming servers are exactly reflected there. So you can see it here, right? So this 1033 AWS DNS, which is this one, and 1183 is this one, and 1728 is there, and 97. So everything is reflected. It will take some time in order to load this. Okay, let's do some other labs. Then I'll leave the setup as it is. So during the end of the session, we'll come and check whether it is reflected or not. Okay. So any queries in this setup, how to do this complete DNS setup and map it to a WordPress web portal, what you have developed. So if you have questions, go through the video again when you are doing this lab. Let us see our next topic. IAM roles. So by now, most of you are aware what is this IAM roles, why we are using this one, right? So if you go to services, IAM is also one of the service under security and identity complex. So select this IAM role. So this is a global service. It is not region specific or regional specific. Suppose if you create in Ohio region, it will be the user will be same for any region. Okay. Now basically what we need to discuss under IAM roles is we need to discuss what are groups, what are users, what are roles, and what are policies. The other things are self-explanatory. Okay. So first discuss what are groups. So groups are nothing but, say for example, it's a general meaning. Say for example, you create any group. Okay. For this group, you want to give access only to particular users and particular permissions. So for example, let me go back to groups, create a new group, and I'll give the group name as QA team. Okay. And I'll click on next. For QA team, I need to give access only through S3 bucket and EC2. I will not give full access for EC2, and I'll give some limited access. EC2 read-only access means they can read only the EC2 mission, these ones. And I need to give Redshift database access for them. Redshift query editor, they can only find the queries, and any other permissions like RDS. like Lambda roles or RDS. Like this, you can select some particular set of policies which you want to give access only to testers or the QA team. So once you select all those policies, then click on your next step. Okay, then create a group. So now I have created a QA team. So this QA team will have access only for these services in AWS. So AWS has a lot of services, right? So you cannot give this once you cannot give right now I'm logging as a Swami Navara at gmail.com. So as a root user, I cannot share this one with everyone, right? If I share with everyone, someone who doesn't have much knowledge on AWS will come and screw your system. There are possibilities for the infrastructure to be altered by anyone. So in order to control those access, and also we also seen what is CloudTrail, right? In CloudTrail, we can check who is doing what. So CloudTrail will give you the complete SLA, who has logged in, what service they have done, what they have done inside the CloudTrail. So once you create the users here, and if you give that particular access to users, whatever that user is doing, you can monitor and you can take an action on that particular user. So that's how managed policies are there, and inline policies. So for example, you can create your own policies and attach here. Okay. So now QA team is there. Now under this QA team, I want to add some users to this particular group. Right now, I will say go to users group. I have this many users which are created. I will add Prashant and Harish as a testers. Okay. The others are developers. Assume like that. So only these two users will be under QA team, and these two users have permissions for these roles. That's how, that's to get this functionality, you are using these groups. Now if you see here under groups, we have two users. So Harish and Prashant, these are the testers, and they have access for the testing services which they wanted to do. Okay. So those are groups. Like this you can create for dev group. So for example, I'll create for dev team. Create next. Now dev team, I need to give full access to S3 bucket, and EC2 I need to give full access. So select EC2, and RDS full access I need to give. Redshift full access I need to give, and DynamoDB. Like this, whatever the services you are using, so you can give their full access for the developers. Create a group. So the dev group is created. Now you can come and so all the policies you can see here, what are policies are there, and create add users. And I'll add so this guy, this and these guys. So under so now I have 4 developers here. Like this you can differentiate groups, you can add the users for that groups, and you can give roles and permissions for that particular groups. Okay, that is groups. Users is simple, it's a general users, so you can come and add user. So once you add user, it will be listed here. So while adding user, you can give program it access or console access. Console access means like logging like this and checking like this. Suppose if you don't provide like this, if you give program it access, then you need to use Amazon CLI commands, or you can use the APIs, REST APIs, or suppose if you are working through Eclipse, you can say, for example, you can use like this Amazon Web Services to execute your things. So if I let me give as both the access. Suppose you can give both the access. Let me give username as August 1st user. You can create multiple users. Suppose if they have same set of configuration. While creating users, here also you can select for which group they need to relate. Or suppose if you don't select group also, you can attach policies. For that user, what policies they need to have. Okay. So I'll select, he should be under dev team, and if you have changed permissions, okay, so dev team, and you can attach policies. Go to next tab and you can give the names, tags. So you got your user. So you can just download this CSV and you can share with that user. because this password secret key will be shown only once. So if you go back and come, say for example, August 1st user. Sorry, go to policies. So you cannot see this again, the security credentials. You can see your access key, but your secret key will be not visible. It will be shown only once. That's why you need to download this one, or you need to copy that key securely. So any queries in groups and users?
Harish, just one query is now you created the users under this main login ID, right? Who is, let's say, Swami Navara,
Yep.
correct?
Yep.
Now, let's say in a large organization,
Yep.
okay, will there only be this one main login user,
No.
or can an organization
No.
have?
So we have a concept of AWS organizations. Okay. So no one. So whenever you join any organization, they will not give you like this user access at all. So what will have is, in a high level I'll explain. So you'll have AWS organizations. Under that organizations, you can create business units. Okay. And each business units you can have accounts. Okay. So say for example, if account is mapped to one business unit, it cannot be mapped to any other business unit. Under business units, again, you can create business unit. Okay. Under that, you can create your AWS account. Now, why they are creating all this structure is in order to maintain all the users in organization level. I'm not sure what exactly is there in GCP, but in Azure we have the same like Active Directories and organization templates, right? Similar to that, in AWS we will have organization. Even when the question in interview, right? Whose account are you going to log in and how you are going to use your AWS services? Never tell that I'm going to log in as a root user. So they will not give access to your root user at all. So what they will give you is they will give an access like a general user. So you, even though you are an account head or a BU head, they'll give your username and password. You can log in as, and they will provide, they'll create a user here and they will allocate all the access for you, for all the policies and all the roles for you. So usually it will be under AWS organization, you will have business units. Under business unit, you can have another business units also. But if one account, this is the one of the interview question they asked for one of my friend. So they asked whether can you map the same account to multiple BU. Say for example, you have one more BU here. So can you map the same account to this BU? No, it is not possible to map like that. One account will be mapped to one BU. So and one BU will be mapped to one BU itself. But under BU, you can have multiple BUs. So account is the last one. After account, you will have BU. After BU, you will have AWS organization. And so now the users, whatever you create, it will be mapped directly to organization. In organization level, they will map for which BU and which account this user is belonging to.
So when they create these logins, is the login URL different, or it is just similar? Because even the users can see the console then.
Yeah. So they will see organization access. Even I never seen it, because that will be maintained directly by ITIM guys, right? So they will never give that one for us. What they provide is we can directly use only the same one, console.aws login, but for our user, whatever they have enabled will be shown for us here like this.
Because I think the UI is the same, like depending on the roles.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
because the users are beneath the
everything will be
organization,
same, but we will be not having
yes,
like
not
this. Yeah.
correct. And I think the URL may be an organization URL as well.
Maybe.
So it will be
No,
console
so
something.
see, this will be same, Ryan. This is not organization URL, because AWS itself is global, right? If you listen our first class, you know how our global infrastructure is designed. So we will have different regions. Based on the regions, we will select the region and they will go it.
Yeah, the reason I'm saying that is because the users will be unique to the organization. So if there are two organizations on the AWS, you can have an login in both. So I'm thinking that the So when the user of the organization comes in, he has to then go to that endpoint because he can have the same user ID login.
See, endpoint will be same. Under this, again, they will create internal organizations,
Something
internal
correct,
business
correct.
units, right? So based on the business unit, the user will be redirected.
Correct.
Okay. Next is policies. So we have discussed policies when we are discussing S3 also. By default, AWS has provided these policies. Like for example, you select, so if you want to provide full access through S3 buckets, right? So you can select like this. So this will give you full access to, provides full access to all buckets via the management console. So like this, you can use the existing policies, or if you want to write a specific policy, right? So you can create a new policy, and I have shown you the policy generator in S3 bucket, right? You go to JSON and manage. So you can select, take the existing policies and you can modify this one using add additional permissions. Okay. So for example, you have EC2 container registration. For example, read only. Okay, take the existing policy. Create a policy. Then choose the service. What service you want to create? For example, EC2 service. What access you want to give? Read and write. So, for example, and request conditions you can provide here. What request conditions is there? So now you can review the policy, and you can create your own policy. So, for example, this is August 1st policy. Like this, you can select a few services what you wanted to add, and you can modify you can create your own policy other than what AWS is providing. This is a custom policy created for my team, for my QA team. Okay, create policy. Now, when you are allocating the policies for users, right, you can go and search your custom policy here. So, what is the name we give? August 1st, right? You can see your August 1st policy. So this is a custom policy created for QA team. So like that, you can create your own policies. This customer managed one. So whatever AWS manager will be the default one. Whatever we write would be the customer managed policies. So you can go and check here. Go to the groups. Say for example, for QA team, I have created custom policy, right? Go to permissions, attach policy, search here for August 1st policy. So this is the policy which is created for QA team. So I can attach the custom policy here. Okay, those are policies, and identity providers are okay. So this is say for example, when you are logging, you are in intranet in your organization. You want to log in through SSO using your same SSO. Then you can directly use this service. You can configure that service here under either through SAML document or OpenID Connect. They support two types. If you select the SAML document, you need to provide the name of that one, and you need to upload this one. So that whenever the whoever the users from the same organizations are trying to log in, by default with their directory password, it will be taken and it will be SSO login will be done automatically. That's the identity provider. Account settings. So you can set up your account. Then other things are self-explanatory. You can go. So these are the important things. So just be aware of this. Now let us see. Shit. Bad luck. So we are not able to see that still this affected. Okay. Let's give some more time, and let's check after a few time. Then we have So single sign-on is there. It is similar to that one. Certificate manager, we know how to create SSL certificate and map to your Route 53. And WAF Shield and AWS Firewall. So we have seen firewall, right? In our first week of our training. What is that firewall? That firewall is security groups and network ACLs. So for example, let me take. Okay, so you have your VPC. So inside this VPC, so you have, let's assume you have only one subnet. Okay, this is your subnet. Okay, under the subnet, you have EC2 mission. Okay. You are running your WordPress application here. So for example, WordPress or any web application here, right? So we have seen multiple security layers. So this is your external internet. Okay. So from your external internet, initially we have seen internet gateway here, right? We have seen internet gateway. After that, we have seen network load balancer. Then we have seen application load balancer. Then it will redirect to this one. So click on this one. So from internet, the traffic will come to internet gateway. So from internet gateway, either we will directly redirect to elastic load balancer or network load balancer. If you have multiple applications, then you will use ALB. And here you will have target groups, right? So under the target groups, you will have EC2. So this is what we have seen in the typical architecture. Now, how exactly we are using the firewall? So we know only two firewalls till now, correct? One is security groups and one is network ACLs, right? So anyone not aware of this one means just refer our first week classes. So security groups and network ACLs. Now where exactly we are using these security groups? We are using it in EC2 level. Okay. Here we are making one layer here with a security group telling boss, I want to allow only HTTP traffic, HTTPS traffic, SSL traffic, or whatever the custom ports you want to do using security layer. On top of the security layer, we also seen network ACL, right? What network ACL will do? It will allow you traffic in subnet levels. So for example, if you select multiple subnets, for the complete subnet, say for example, if you are allowing only SSL traffic or HTTPS traffic, only the traffic will be allowed here. So now what exactly will happen? A user who is coming from internet, it will go through internet gateway, he'll come here. Before entering to subnet, that traffic will be monitored by network ACL. Once this allow, then the traffic will come to subnet. Inside subnet, it will, before entering, allowing it to EC2, it will be monitoring security group rules. So two layers of rules we have seen now. Now your attacker is able to join all these two layer of groups and he has attacked your EC2 mission. Now inside your EC2 mission, if you want to protect your web application, so for example, we deployed this WordPress website, right? So if you want to protect this web application, then you can have one more layer of security. So that is called, that is web-based, sorry, that layer of security is called web application security layer. So this AWS Firewall Manager and WAF, Web Application Firewall and Shield, they will be providing this layer of security. Okay. So Shield is nothing but it will also monitor the unusual traffic. So for example, sorry, Gaurd duty will do that work. So here you can configure this one. AWS WAF is a web application firewall service that allows you to monitor web requests forwarded from Amazon. It might be from anywhere. It might be from gateway or network load balancer or any other auto scaling group or CloudFront distribution like this. So here you can add one more layer of security, what exactly you need to allow or what you not to allow. So that is for firewall and this one. And you have one more service under the same security. You should have Gaurd duty. So what this Gaurd duty will do is, So you can configure some rules here under guard duty. So whatever is happening inside the application, it will always, like, it's like watchman, right? So it will always allow you to monitor the particular application. If anything is happening for that deviations happening, it will immediately alert you, saying that there is unusual things happening in this particular accounts. This is what guard duty will do. So for example, I don't have anything configured here. Here you can add what are your trusted IP addresses. So threat list, here you can add it. So for example, if you want to block few things without logging inside this account itself, you can make it block. Or findings, it will show you the findings. If anything unusual, it will show. For example, this is I can have log here. Usually they will look at evidence, severity. So you need to understand, go to the document for guard duty, and you can understand the severity. Severity is 2, 3. They will have what type of threat it is. So these are something related to your security services in AWS. So this is not mandatory to learn, do lab and learn everything. So it's better to know what service will do what job. If they ask you in internet, you know, don't tell I never get opportunity to work on this. No one will give opportunity, right? No organization will give opportunities. So you need to create opportunities and learn yourself. Otherwise, you tell I don't know what is the topic. Okay, so just go theoretical and read these topics. Let's see this. This is okay. So 10 more minutes. I'll cover one last topic. So device form. So what is this device form? This is under mobile, right? So this device form is nothing but they will provide you infrastructure of a mobile lab. Say for example, you want to do any mobile based testing. So you have application which you want to test, or you want to execute your Selenium scripts in some browsers. What is the exact need of this particular devices is device form is. So for example, you have two applications, okay, which you have developed. These two applications you need to run in Chrome browser. Can you please go on mute, everyone? So Chrome browser, IE browser. So then you need to run in Edge browser and in headless browser. Okay, same application. So two applications you have. So if you want to run in Chrome, so two variants will come here, two variants will come here, two will come here, and two will come here. Okay, you already have your automation scripts ready. Okay. So once you have your automation scripts ready, so two applications you need to run. How many variants is there till now? 2 plus 2, 4 plus 2, 6 plus 2, 8. So here till now 8 variants is there. Now under Chrome browser, my current Chrome version is, say for example, 84.0. Okay. Let me open Notepad. Okay, my current Chrome version is 84.0. Say for example, if I want to, my customer will come and say, boss, I want to execute these automation scripts in different versions. I want to run an 84 version, 81 version, from 81, sorry, 83, 82, 81, okay, and 85 beta also. Okay, the customer who has developed application, they are not sure their customers under which browser version they will be running. So whatever the application they developed, it must be working in all the versions. So he will tell, okay, so here how many variants are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 5 variants. Like this, he will tell for IE also you need to run in 5 versions. Edge also you want to run in 5 versions. And headless browser also you want to run in 5 versions. So total how many versions will come here? So you have only for Chrome two applications, two into you have under two applications into 5 versions, which is 10 variants. Let's assume you have 100 scripts here for application 1, 100 scripts for application 2. So total 200 applications, so 200 test scripts you want to run in all these variants. So for example, 200 into 10 is equals to 2000 scripts you have only for Chrome, and 2000 scripts you have for IE, 2000 scripts you have for Edge, and 2000 scripts you have for headless browsers. So how many scripts will come here? On total you have 1 2 3 4 8,000 scripts you want to run. Okay, fine. Running 8,000 scripts is not a big deal because you have already written automation code. You need to select the browser and you need to execute it. But suppose if you don't have device form, you are running in your completely in your local. So how many systems you need to do for Chrome? You need 5 variants, right? You can install only one version at a time here. So 80, now my current version is 84, right, in my system. So once I have 84 version, so I can execute this 2000 scripts, this 200 scripts, then delete this Chrome browser, install 83 version, again execute 200 scripts, again delete this 83 version, install. Like this, I cannot keep on changing my testing environment, right? So I'm an automation tester. I'm not a a security guy, the IT admin guy to install the Chrome browser, delete the Chrome browser for every requirement for every 200 test cases. So if they ask you to execute these automation scripts 3 times per day, then assume you need to 8,000 into 3, 24,000 times, right? So in order to make your job easy, so you no need to create any Chrome browsers in your local. You no need to worry. Develop your automation scripts locally one time, run in any version. Say for example, you have developed in one time. I'm executing in Chrome in 84 version. So once your automation scripts are working, upload these automation scripts into your AWS. Okay. So once you upload this AWS, so then you can select what browsers you need to select. Chrome browsers, what versions, select all the versions, and if you click execute, after some time you will be able to download the results for everything. That is the main reason desktop's automation is also pushed to cloud. If you go here, uh, where is device form? Yeah, if you go here, so if you see under browser project testing projects, you can create a new project and create a run. Under this run, you can configure, is it for mobile or is it for this one? So if it is a test-based applications, then you can select, so for example, it's a web mobile-based application. So they provide you either to write in Java, JUnit, or TestNG, or Python, or Node.js, or Ruby. So these are the options what they're providing. Or you can upload your test scripts which is developed in Eclipse automatically to here, and you can select which mobile device you want to do, and you can execute your scripts here. Or if it is desktop based applications, so go to your desktop. So execution, you no need to upload anything here. So you know how to declare Selenium version, right? Selenium declaration, right? So let me take this one. WebDriver driver equal to new Chrome driver. So this is when you're executing in your local machine, right? So for example, if you want to execute the same scripts, this is from your Eclipse. If you declare like this, it will run in your local machine. Whatever the Chrome is installed, it will pick up automatically and it will execute. Now, suppose if you want to execute the same scripts from your local into AWS cloud. So once you start execution, you will see your automation scripts here. It's executing here, which browser it's executing, what is the browser version, what is the platform, and how much time it has been executed. And after this one, you will get a results tab to download the results. Okay, so how you can do that is, so you have an option for remote WebDriver, right? So remote WebDriver. So in this interface, it will take option here like either Amazon URL you need to provide, then your capabilities. So under these capabilities, you will specify what browser capabilities dot browser name, browser version, and other things. Then, so like this, you have many other capabilities. Who are from testing background would understand this better. So this is the only change. What you don't need to change your test cases or any other things. So what you need to do is you only need to change your Chrome driver to your remote web drivers. Under browser name, you need to specify which browser you are going to set for this particular zone. Then this is how the automation execution will happen in a device form. Okay. So suppose if you want to do manual testing, okay. So I want to take a mobile device. I want to open that mobile device and I want to do manual testing. So then you can also, I think they will give around 200, not $200. Let's give August 1st. Okay. So you created your project. Then you can, sorry, let me go to mobile device projects.
Is this better than using Xperi test?
Yeah, so it all depends on, so AWS devices will have latency, Xperi test devices will be better. August 1st. So not VPC, this mobile app, right? Okay, click on remote access. Suppose if you are doing automation test, click on automation and you can upload your run here. This is like execution console. You can upload your scripts, execute here and check the details here. Or click on remote access, start a new session. So here you need to come and select which device you want to open. Okay, you have Apple devices, iPhones and Android devices. So I'll pick up one Google Pixel. I guess initially they will give around 1,000 hours for free. Initially it was $200 credit in 2014 and all. Now I guess they made into hours. Okay. So I requested Google Pixel to Android device. Once if I select device, they'll give a real device. This device will be sitting in any one of the AWS data center. Okay, those device remotely they are giving us in a web browser to test it. Either you can install your own application or install from Play Store, or you can test your application. Okay. It will take. Usually it should be fast. Okay. The record is created, nothing we can do. We cannot debug anything because even if you see who sees domain lookup, or you have one more called klot, I guess klot.net. Okay. Here domain name educationrankers.com server. So you can see the IP address is automatically loaded, means which is in turn mapped, but it will take some time to reflect it. Okay, so this is not something like which I'm checking in the internet itself. You can check for which NS lookup your DNS is mapped. So your DNS is mapped to this IP address, means the mapping is done correctly, but just in order to reflect these changes, it will take some time. So before this class, I have done the same for the same one. Maybe that would be the reason it is taking some time to reflect. Okay. Okay, I'll leave you like this. You can check after 1 or 2 hours. Till tomorrow afternoon, I'll leave as it is. The setup, the Route53 and EC2 missions. Let it run as it is. And tomorrow, anytime, I will just education rankers is the domain name, you can just check in your mobile. It would have been loading this one. Okay. And you can also see the posts what we have done, right? Click on blog. So this is the post what we have done. You can see this one. So okay, let's go and check this mobile device. What happened to this?
Harish, it is coming in my browser. Okay, education rank.
Ah, cool.
You can check in the internet.
So can everyone check if you are able to load this one? Educationrankers.com.
No, I'm not
Yes,
able to access it.
no, I could get it.
Yeah.
It's
So
education rankers, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get it. So
No,
I'm doing it on mobile.
you should be mapped for everyone. Let me try in my mobile as well.
I'm able to get Harish.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So if it is showing for one guy, for everyone by default, everyone, because there would be some network or catch, which is there in my machine. So
you should have the text or title, whatever you have modified, right, Harish?
yeah, it should have that.
Can you go back to that? Yeah,
Yeah,
so this is
this
what you
one.
had, right?
Yeah.
I cannot really see that. I see something.
Uh,
I mean, it opens up, but it is a bit different
okay.
than
See,
what.
I'm in a blog. If you click on blog, right?
Yeah. But if you go to the okay.
Let me go to this one. So
Yeah,
by
yeah.
default, it should load like
Wait
this.
a minute. Yeah. I think it's up.
Yeah, it's up, right? So
Yeah.
you once you click on
On
blog,
the laptop it is opening. On
Yeah.
laptop it is opening, but not from mobile. I don't.
I just checked on mobile. It's all right.
Yeah. So
Maybe something.
Buy a new mobile, Shailesh.
yeah, I'm able to logging in my mobile as well. So yeah, it is already mapped. So you can click on blog to see the blog which we created, right? So okay. Okay, let's see what happened to this mobile device. Let's launch in this mobile device. What we are going to see, we have Google Pixel, right, which we launched. So meanwhile, we'll launch one more mobile device of iOS 1. Why it's taking too much time? I'll say Samsung A70. Yeah. So because of network latency, this is, so if you see here, they have provided the Samsung device here. Let me push this. Yeah. So now this is like a real mobile device. So you can do whatever you want. Say, for example, let us go and search our portal itself. Click on. So camera, I guess they would be in data warehouse. Sorry, data center. Click on home. So this is to answer your question, Guru, which is best, right? Whoever the lab, like either Sauce Labs or Browser Stack or Xperi Test or Perfect Mobile, these are the major vendors on AWS device form. So whoever, so now if you see here, we launched, and when I clicked on no tanks, okay, but see the latency and see the delay of this one. The tester would be frustrated, right? If you ask the tester to test 10 test cases by giving this mobile with this latency, he will be frustrated. So whoever is giving the low latency, they are the best vendors. So it all depends on the network as well. I'm not sure today my current network is not bit wide, And
because expert is they are specialized in the mobile
correct.
device.
See,
Right?
Xperi test also, they will give a software for you to set up your own lab. You can, inside your organization itself, you can set up a lab so that you can buy your own mobile devices, connect to that software, and you can establish your own lab so that the traffic will be inside your own organization. It will be very faster. So, so that's all. Let us see another. See, after you execute, right? So you can see, since we didn't do anything in Google Pixel 2, there are no results. Usually you will have results file. Just 10 minutes. Let us try to launch a mobile device and try to check. Uh, education. So you can see this, Sailesh. See, education anchors.
Yeah.
This is the one which we have mapped, and this is the portal which we have developed, right? So you can see here. So it's loading in this particular mobile device. Okay, so if you go to menu and if you go on blog, you can see our blog which we have created. So you can play this.
Here, on my mobile also now it is coming, but with Wi-Fi, with the data, it wasn't coming.
Yeah. Suppose if you want to install your custom builds, right? You want to install some application which is developed by your organization. You can create your test build and you can upload your test build here. Yeah. So upload your APK file here for Android. If it is iOS, you need to upload IPA file. Okay, now let me stop this session. After stopping the session, whatever the manual tester he has done this one, right? The results will be generated and you can download the results and you can share in Jira or wherever is it required. Usually for manual testing and all, they use local devices, but in terms of automation, yes, they come and upload their scripts. They select multiple devices and execute in parallel to save the time. Okay. So any other things we missed out? So these are dev tools. So if you install Android SDK either in IntelliJ or Eclipse IDE, so you can see this one. So whoever are from dev background, right? So you can understand easily this one. So code commit is something similar to Git and Bitbucket. Code artifacts is to review your artifacts. Code build is it's similar to Maven, which will build your code, and code deploy. So this is CI/CD implementation you can do with this code build and deploy pipelines and with the code pipelines. So these three with together they will use. I also got one opportunity only once to use this one. And X-rays is nothing but we have seen discussed this in CloudWatch logs. Service lanes is there, right? So that is X-ray. So you need to install your AWS custom into your WAR file so that whatever your application, whoever is using, you can get the user analytics using this X-ray. So these are the dev tools. So I missed one topic, which is ops work. This one. See, we have seen cloud formation, right? Which is infrastructure for code. So what this will do, this will create VPCs and it will create automation for your infrastructure automation. But whereas for your application, inside your application, after deploying your application, in order to manage your configuration for your applications and other things, this ops work will be used. But very rarely few people will use. Why? Because there are other tools like Chef, Puppet and Ansible in order to control these particular things. So that is for ops work. And I also missed one topic. See, who are trying to give for developer certificate, right? So just try to cover Elastic Bean Stack, Elastic Bean Stack, which will be under compute. Okay. So yeah, so tomorrow we'll have the last session. So where we will be discussing about what exactly we need to read for certificate, Then we will discuss few questions, sample questions, and we'll wind up this training. Okay. Yeah.
Thanks, Harish.
And termination. So you don't forget to close your mobile device. Suppose after 1000 hours, I guess. Let me check that and confirm you. AWS free time. Yeah, it is 1000 hours. So you can launch your mobile devices and you can use 1000 hours, 1000 minutes.
1000 minutes.
1000 minutes.
1000 minutes.
Yeah, 1000 minutes. Sorry. It was initially around 200 hours, I guess. 200 hours was the free per entire year. How come, let us see how much they reduced. 16 hours. So they reduced almost. They just given 20% of what they were giving 2014. Yeah.
Harish, are we going to discuss about this ECS something?
ECS, if I cover in 1 hour session, it will be not that effective. I will cover in GitOps. Suppose if you're not attending the training, I'll share you the videos for ECS. Okay. Minimum we need around 3 to 4 hours to complete at least one use case, end-to-end use case in ECS. So first you need to understand what is Docker, how Docker works, how to create images, then how Docker configuration files you need to manage. Then we need to create ECS containers and target groups. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, if no questions, let's wind up today's session.
Thanks, Hari.